This IB business management video is again looking at the concepts. The company that we're going to concentrate on today is Alphabet, and we're going to specifically look at two of Alphabet's daughter companies in terms of Google and its Google X division as well. Just a reminder about the different concepts that we should be looking at. So we have change, we have culture, we have ethics, globalization, innovation, and strategy. The one that we're going to concentrate on today is culture. So this is an excellent article. It's called How Google's Moonshot X Division Helps Its Employees Embrace Failure. And this article is focusing on the Google X division, and it's looking at the culture within the workforce. So this article, it really looks at Google X's culture in terms of embracing failure. It even says here, it's okay to come up with very terrible ideas. In fact, they value them out loud. In fact, they state that sometimes terrible ideas, well, the theory goes, need to make room for the audacious ones. They believe that if they embrace the terrible ideas from this, I suppose, brainstorming process, that whilst coming up with all these different types of ideas, yes, some of them might be terrible, but in the end, they will come up with an absolutely brilliant one. The article even gives an example of some of the terrible ideas, and I like this the end sentence, this paragraph at the beginning, at the top of the screen. But the fact that it was even discussed around the table for a minute is a victory he's proud of nonetheless. Even though it's a terrible idea, he was glad that his workers were coming up with such ideas, such innovative ideas that in reality, okay, might not work, but still they're trying to be creative. In Teller, he says he's created a workforce culture where failure is valued as much as success. It does remind me of other companies, especially companies that are innovative, such as like Dyson. But in terms of these successful ideas, you can even see in the top paragraph there, Teller detailed how X kills its moonshot ideas from vertical farms to flying cargo ships, and how the few that survives this process, like self-driving cars, go on to become major projects that could change something as fundamental as how we drive. So yes, there might be some bad ideas that will never be taken forward. They might be worked on for a while. There might be a waste of time, but they know that because of the brainstorming of these ideas, they will create amazing ideas. And I suppose it's the leadership style is probably more of a laissez-faire style, and trying to embrace the creativity in their employees. If you want to watch the TED Talks video, which looks at this in more depth, I have included the link on the screen, and I'll also include it in the description on the YouTube channel. Now, as I've already said, they will come up with some terrible ideas, maybe, and you could argue, well, could this not demotivate the workers if they've created this idea, they've been working for quite a while, and suddenly they kill off the idea? Would that not impact the employees and possibly demotivate them? But Google X have concentrated on that; they've focused on that to try and avoid that from happening. And often they'll kill off ideas which may be thought of as demotivating, as workers have been working on these ideas for a long time, as I've said before. Yet Alphabet or Google X have created a culture of actually trying to find these flaws, trying to kill off these ideas, and getting the workers to identify issues within their projects, and they'll actually give them an incentive to do so, such as maybe a bonus. And the reason why they do that is to avoid the risk, I suppose, without impacting worker motivation. They want the high quality ideas, and therefore if they can bring in this culture of their employees trying to actually fault their own projects and trying to find issues within their own project. And again, if they're able to, then it tells you that this project might be an issue. But if they're not, then that could also spell that this could be a very, very good project. And Teller says how this is different to many other companies, and it's that quote, "You can pry this project I'm working on out of my cold dead fingers." And he says this is how most people may react in different companies. They might know that what they're working on isn't very good; it's not going to go further, but they're worried to admit it's a failure, and maybe because they're worried about dismissal or even just missing out on the next promotion. But Teller says that is not the case in Google X, and they actually celebrate failure. And this is emphasized in this quote. If they believe that they can be heroes at X for ending their projects, if that's the right thing to do, if they're ending it for the smart reasons, then people are just going to applaud politely, but really treat them like they did a good job. And again, throughout this article, the words brainstorming is used countless times, and that really is the culture. They're trying to promote creativity. They're trying to encourage everybody, regardless of your position. Everybody is encouraged to create ideas, come up with ideas, and see if these ideas are possible and if they would be a success. Uh, And again, this is mentioned here, and you can quickly read up on what Teller says. Just that everybody's encouraged to throw ideas into the rapid eel pipeline, but someone needs to spend 10 or 100 hours actually beating on the idea to see if it can stand up to the first level of scrutiny. So everybody has a go, but everybody also has a go to see if it's successful or not. You can carry on reading about this. I'll give you a minute to do so. Now, this next bit, Teller says that this could be translated into any organization. He believes it works very well in Google X, but that doesn't mean it's just because of the budget or the size of Alphabet that it works well. He believes that you could actually use this in any organization at all. Now, actually, I've just read an article based on this from Forbes that actually disagreed with this point, and there's a little bit of an argument about whether this is true or not. This could be an evaluator point. It could be something that you could explore later further and look into and ask those type of questions. Does it work because of the resources from Alphabet? Does it work because Alphabet have got so many different daughter companies that they're able to spread the risk? Could it work in a much smaller company? That's again something that you could explore. And talking about Forbes, they also released another article, and this time it was concentrated on Google and their culture. Now, I haven't included the whole article. I've just picked out the key points, but there are two key observations. Is about average social sensitivity, caring about the employees. That every single employee cares about one another, their opinions, their ideas, and there's a culture that they will not criticize, and they'll just work together as a team. Google describes this as psychological safety, whether the members of the team feel safe to express themselves without facing negative consequences. It states here, don't be afraid to ask questions. You don't have to impress me. You already have, and that's why I hired you. And it is to do with the trust within the employees, and that's another key aspect of their culture. Trust is key. It does say, though, however, it does state if there is any negativity or if they see a bad influence in the workforce which can impact this culture, then they will act very quickly to get rid of this toxicity from the organisation. The last sentence just says, I wake up each morning excited to come to work. I get to learn from some of my favourite people. And both articles that I've looked at today just suggest that Alphabet have really got it spot on in terms of their employee motivation. Obviously, they can attract the specialised workers, but the fact is they treat them with respect. They allow them, I suppose, they empower them, and there is that key trust, and that's I suppose the culture that Alphabet are trying to promote within every single one of their divisions.